So, hi, Nico, I have you with me today because you sent us a wonderful opportunity for franchisors to get involved in, which is an invitation for the services sector skills planning workshops. Can you tell us what that is all about?
Definitely, yes. Thanks, Romani. Look, a sector skills plan, it's a comprehensive document that outlines the skills demand and supply. Specifically, it identifies the skills gaps that exist within each sector. And then from there, the interventions can be planned, for the next 12 months.
Okay, but now why do you need to have the franchisors participate in this event?
Look, I always put it in layman's terms. We're in business to make money. Government's in business to give out money. So they get, the tax money in, but they need to know where to distribute it. And government on their own can never know where to distribute and where the skills gaps are. So it's up to us as private sector to guide the spend that government needs, the direction that they need to spend their resources so that we can address the skills gaps, because we know, the skills gaps that we have in the industry. We know we struggle with entrepreneurs to get the right entrepreneur, the right jockey for the franchise or the franchisee. We know that, we struggle to get managers. So we need to highlight that, and we need to give that information to government. And this is the opportunity for it.
And so you were saying that it's not just a case of you must click and register, but you must be physically present. So when you are physically present in the virtual meeting, what is it that you would be contributing to? So let's say, for example, I'm in the marketing space and I saw marketing was on that list. What would I need to contribute to that conversation?
That's a very practical question. You see, it's very well structured and it's very well streamlined. So you'll see there's not a lot of time that gets wasted. Post-COVID, it's like it's accelerated a lot of things, and this virtual meetings is one of the good things that came out of it. So joining physically through a virtual meeting, you'll be guided as to which topics and where we can input. And then when it comes to the sector specific questions, that's where you can then participate and advise government where to fund for which interventions, and it will be most relevant to the sector that you function in.
Okay, so there's no real preparation on our side, because normally when you go to a meeting or you attend a meeting, you want to have notes or preparation so that you make a positive contribution instead of a waste of time scenario. So you don't have to prepare anything, you just basically answer the questions that they're going to be asking you.
That is correct. Yes, they will guide you, and whenever they ask the questions, they will just say, but this is for this sector, this is for this that we need. What are you finding as industry in the private sector? Guide us here, please help us. You see, it's either a skills gap that needs to be addressed, so there needs to be more funding channeled into a specific skill, so that we can increase the training of that skill. Or you can come up and say, like we did from FASA side, we said, listen, we need our own franchising qualification. And that's the one that we'll also be developing this year. Or it can be a third option where there's existing training interventions, in other words, skills programs or learnership training that is there, but it's outdated and it needs to be realigned.
It really is quite an important responsibility that if we want to develop the economy further, if we want to educate people so that we have qualified people and skilled people working within our businesses, then it's important for us to actually show up so that we can make that important contribution. Otherwise, we're not going to have skilled people in certain sectors of the industry. Is that what I'm understanding?
That is 100% correct. And that's one of the things that Inani prides ourselves for being from a non-profit side. We see ourselves as a bridge between the public and the private sector to mend that broken trust relationship. We understand, I've been doing this for over 20 years. I understand for 8 years, my first 8 years, it was just understanding the jargon, to be honest with you, to get to know the industry and the layouts and the Setas and how they function. But then from there onwards, I sort of developed a system where our members can just tap in, like, now I'll go and sit on the boards, I'll go and figure out the jargon and the next relevant and the whatevers, and then whenever it's needed, we just send the invite to our members and say, guys, this is now the opportunity. If you do not come, please do not complain within the next 12 months because you did not turn up physically in the virtual meeting, as you said, to say, hey, Mr. Seta, Mrs. Seta, this is where the fund should be going. This is where we are struggling in this sector. Help us with interventions and funding.
I like that. Thank you so much, Nico. Well, that's pretty clear about this workshop. Guys, please go and look at where the workshops are available, what dates they are, and if you fit into that criteria, and do and help the industry by attending these events and putting forward your voice. Let us be heard so that we can turn this economy around, create jobs, and all of us benefit at the end of the day. So thank you for that. Thank you so much, Nico. I really appreciate your time and for giving us this insight, because these are important things that we need to be addressing.
Definitely. Thanks, Romani.